Good morning, one and all. Today we are going to continue with the chapter of waste management. In the first class, we have dealt with regarding the introduction regarding what is waste and what are the different types of waste and what are the health hazards of the waste, how to manage it, and also the types of disposal of solid waste regarding the dumping, controlled tipping, incineration, composting, mineral pits and real, and also what are the different types of disposal of healthcare waste in the categories with the treatment of the technologies of the healthcare waste, and the treatment of the disposal options or of the healthcare waste are incineration, chemical disinfection, wet thermal treatment, microwave radiation, encapsulation, safe burying and inertization. And we will continue with the treatment of disposal options of the healthcare waste. The first one is incineration. What is incineration? Incineration is a high temperature dry oxidation process that reduces the organic and combustible waste to inorganic incombustible matter and results in a very significant reduction of the waste volume and weight. This process is usually used to treat the waste that cannot be recycled, reused or disposed of in a landfill site. Types of incinerators. There are three different types. There are double chamber pyrolytic incinerators. Number 2 is single chamber furnaces with static grate, and 3 is the rotary tins. Number 1. Paralytic incinerators. This is the most reliable and commonly used process for healthcare waste. They are also called controlled air incineration or double chamber incineration. The paralytic incinerators comprises of a paralytic chamber and the post combustion chamber. In the paralytic chamber, the waste is thermally disposed, that is decomposed, through an oxygen deficient medium temperature combustion process of 800 to 900 degrees centigrade, producing solid ashes and gases. The paralytic chamber includes a fuel burner used to start the process, and the waste is loaded in the suitable waste bags or containers. The gases produced in this way are buried at high temperatures, that is from 90 to 1200 degrees centigrade, by a fuel burner in the post combustion chamber using an excess of air to minimize smoke and odors. The paralytic and the post combustion chambers should be of steel with an internal lining of refractory bricks resistant to corrosive waste or gas and to thermal shock. Paralytic incinerators are suitable for what type of waste? They are infectious waste, that is including sharps and pathological waste, and also pharmaceutical and chemical residues, and they are inadequate for non-risk healthcare waste and genotoxic waste and radioactive waste. Everything has its own positives and negatives, and regarding that, what are the drawbacks? Drawbacks for the paralytic incinerators are they are relatively an expensive equipment, expensive to operate and maintain, and well-trained personnel should be required to work with the paralytic incinerators. Activities involved in the operation of paralytic incinerators are removal of the ashes left aside inside the paralytic chamber, loading the waste packages to be incinerated, ignition of the paralytic fuel burner to start waste burning in the paralytic chamber, ignition of fuel burner in post combustion chamber, monitoring of high temperatures burning of gas inside the post combustion chamber, and stopping the fuel burners after completion of the waste and gas burning and letting the incinerator cool. These are the different types of activities in the functioning of the paralytic incinerators. What is the second one? That is the single chamber incinerator. This can be used for healthcare waste if a paralytic incinerator cannot be afforded. That is, if you can't afford it, you can go with a single chamber incinerator. This type of incinerator treats the waste in batches. Loading and de-ashing operations are performed manually. The combustion is initiated by addition of the fuel and should then continue unaided. So, a drum or a field incinerator is the simplest form of the single chamber incinerator. A 210-liter steel drum is used with both the ends removed. This will allow the burning of one bag of waste at a time. A fine screen is placed on the top of the drum to prevent some of the ashes or light material from blowing out. So, this is where the process of the single chamber incinerator is done. A brick incinerator is used as similar circumstances and is built by constructing a closed area with a brick or concrete walls. This is another method of building of a single chamber incinerator. So it has its own drawbacks. There, chemical and pharmaceutical residues will persist if temperatures do not exceed 200 degrees centigrade, and also the process will cause emission of the black smoke, fly ashes and potentially toxic gases, and exhaust gas cleaning is not practical, can cause air pollution. This is where there are drawbacks of the single chamber furnaces, that is single chamber incinerators. And the third one, that is rotary kiln. A rotary kiln comprises of rotating oven and a post combustion chamber. The axis of a rotary kiln is inclined in a slight angle to the vertical, that is 3 to 5 degree slope. A kiln rotates 2 to 5 times per minute and is charged with waste at the top. So it has the process used for, especially with the infectious waste and the pathological waste decomposition, that is with the burning of the waste materials. All chemical and pharmaceutical waste including cytotoxic waste also can be done. Capacity of a rotary kiln, available capacities are 0.5 to 3 tons per hour. And regarding that, what are the disadvantages of the rotary kilns also? There should be a well-trained personnel. There should be required. Equipment and operation costs are high, and energy consumption is also high. High corrosive waste and byproducts damage with refractory lining of the kiln. So these are the defects of the rotary kiln also. And the second type of disposal of the healthcare waste, they are chemical disinfection. The name itself says that it is done with the chemical disinfectants. In this method, chemicals are added to kill the waste and inactivate the pathogens. This method is most suitable for treating the liquid waste such as blood, urine stools or hospital sewages. Solid waste are highly hazardous healthcare waste, may also be disinfected with chemically, and the following limitations there. They are shredding or milling of the waste is usually necessary before disinfection, and powerful disinfectants are required which are themselves hazardous and should be used only by well-trained personnel. Only the surface intact solid waste will be disinfected. So what are the different types of chemical disinfectants? They are formaldehyde, ethylene oxide, glutaraldehyde, sodium hypochlorite, chlorine dioxide. Formaldehyde. It has an inactivating effect against the microorganisms including the bacteria, viruses and bacterial spores, that is with the contact time of 45 minutes. Gloves and protective eyeglasses should be worn during handling of the formaldehyde to protect the skin and eyes. So it is also carcinogenic, so therefore formaldehyde is suitable as a chemical disinfectant only in situations with high level of chemical safety that can be maintained. And the second one, ethylene oxide. It inactivates all microorganisms including the bacteria, viruses and spores. It disinfects the waste with the temperature of 37 to 55 degrees centigrade at 60 to 80% humidity for 4 to 12 hours. Liquid ethylene oxide and aqueous solutions are extremely irritant to skin and eyes, so we should take care of the ethylene oxide usage also. It is also a potential carcinogenic, so protective measures should be taken while using these type of chemicals. And the third one, glutaraldehyde. It is an active against both bacteria and parasitic eggs. So it should be used at 2% aqueous solution with a state buffer. Contact time is 5 minutes for the disinfection of medical equipments and 10 hours to kill the spores. Since concentrated solutions are returned to eyes and skin, gloves and protective wear glasses should be used while handling them. So it has a high level of chemical safety that can be maintained, and glutaraldehyde waste should never be discharged in sewers. So you should not directly throw the glutaraldehyde which has been used into the sewers, and it should be neutralized and carefully by addition of ammonia or sodium bisulfate. It may also be incinerated after mixing with the flammable solvent. And the fourth one, sodium hypochlorite. Now you can listen everywhere at these pandemic situations regarding the sodium hypochlorite sprays, sodium hypochlorite, which has been extensively used for this COVID-19 also. It is an active against most bacteria and viruses and spores, but not effective in the disinfection of the liquids with high organic content such as blood and stools. Solutions should be protected from the light, which accelerates its decomposition to sodium chloride, sodium chloride and oxygen. It reacts with acids to produce hazardous chlorine gas. So we should take care of using while the sodium hypochlorite. Gloves and protective eyeglasses should be worn so that it does not cause irritant to the skin, eyes, respiratory tract. So sodium hypochlorite may be widely used because of the relatively mild health hazards. And the fifth one is the fluorine dioxide. It is the reddish yellow gas at an ambient temperature. It also reacts with water or steam to produce the corrosive fumes of hydrofluoric acid. It is an active agent against the bacteria, viruses and spores. It also has the properties of causing irritation to the skin, eyes and respiratory tract, so that we should take care of while using this fluorine dioxide also. Especially it is used in the drinking water preparation, sanitation and wastewater treatment. And the third one of the disposal of the healthcare waste, they are wet thermal treatment. And the third one is wet thermal treatment. Wet thermal treatment or steam disinfection is based on the exposure of the shredded infections waste to high temperatures, high pressure steam. It inactivates most types of microorganisms. This process requires the waste that are being shredded before the treatment to increase the disinfection efficiency. The process is inappropriate for the treatment of anatomical waste and the animal carcasses. What are the disadvantages? The disadvantages are the shredded is liable to mechanical failure and breakdown, and the effectivity of disinfection is very sensitive to operational conditions. And what are the advantages of this wet thermal treatment? They are relatively having low investment and operating costs and low environmental impact. The fourth one is microwave irradiation. Most microorganisms are destroyed by this action of the microwaves with a frequency of 2450 MHz and a wavelength of 12.24 centimeters. The water contained within the waves are rapidly heated by the microwaves, and the infectious components are destroyed by heat conduction. Although this process is becoming increasingly popular, relatively high costs coupled with the potential operation and maintenance problems mean that it is not yet being recommended in the developing countries. And the next one is encapsulation. This procedure involves filling containers made of high density polythene and metal drums with waste. These containers are then filled with medium and immobilizing materials such as plastic foam, cement mortar or clay. After the medium has been dried, the container is sealed and disposed of into the landfill sites. It is the simple, low cost and safe method, but it is not recommended for non-sharp infectious waste. And the last but not the least is the safe burying. Safe burying is the method where the waste be used. This is the only viable option available, especially in the establishments which are minimal programs for the healthcare waste management. However, certain basic rules should be followed. Access of the disposal site should be restricted to unauthorized personnel. So the burial site should be lined with material of low permeability like clay. Only hazardous healthcare waste should be buried so as to conserve the space, and large quantities of chemical waste should not be buried at one time to avoid environmental pollution. The burial site should be covered with a layer of earth to prevent the health hazards. The last is inertization. It is a 2 marks question also. It might be asked regarding the healthcare waste management. This process involves mixing of waste with cement and other substances before disposal in order to minimize the risk of toxic substances contained in the waste migrating into the surface water or groundwater. It is especially suitable for pharmaceutical and for incineration ashes with a high metal content. This is relatively inexpensive method of waste disposal, but it is not suitable for the infectious waste management. So you should take care. So you should not dispose the infectious waste regarding this process. So by this I conclude this chapter of waste management. What is waste management and how we can manage it? So I conclude that the key of man's health lies in the environment. Much of the man's ill health can be traced to adverse environmental factors such as water pollution, air pollution, poor housing conditions, and presence of vectors which pose to a constant threat to man's health. So the purpose of environmental health is to create and maintain the ecological conditions that will promote the health and thus prevent the disease. So this is the waste management chapter. So you should take care of how to dispose waste, especially regarding the medical field, regarding our field, how to dispose the healthcare waste. So you should take care how to ensure that it is safe for the environment. Thank you.